What's good? We back. Y'all know what it is. It's Box Clinic and more. Back on the boxing grind as usual. And, thanking everybody that subscribed, like, dislike, comment, whatever it may be. Thanks to everybody that support the donation, everybody that support the super chat. I got the Patreon coming, and, I'm working on that right now. But talking about Jermall Charlo, potentially taking on Canelo Alvarez, and I think a lot of people was missing the fact that Canelo Alvarez, I keep saying this, and I think people just don't know it, but I'm going to keep saying it, that Canelo Alvarez, last time out, he did not elect to face Gennady Golovkin's WBC middleweight title. He turned that opportunity down. If you go back, the WBC was perping like they were, they were a part of that mega clash, but they really wasn't, because Canelo Alvarez declined to do the 30-day weigh-in or whatever. The first 90-day weigh-in, whatever. He didn't do none of the weigh-ins, or he didn't, pay anything to the WBC. He's not messing with them. So nothing has changed in his status and his relationship with the WBC. I expect for him not to fight for that belt again. But what confused a lot of people about that before I get into this matchup was the fact that they were selling this fight as though he was fighting for the WBC, but it was not up for grabs. And a lot of people don't know that, So basically, if Canelo Alvarez would beat Triple G would still be retaining the WBC title, unless the WBC was to make it vacant. But Triple G hopefully didn't pay any sanctioning body fees or nothing like that, because that title wasn't on the line. Canelo declined that, and is expected to decline the WBC title once again. And I have my theories on what's gonna happen. I think they're both, even K2's guy, Tom Loffer, who just started his own promotional company as well. He said that he talked about a third potential fight, or if they win going after Billy Joe Saunders, that he wants Triple G to fight 3 times in a year. So you never know what can happen. If Triple G win, then, he's obligated to face Jermall Charlo. I don't know. They probably going to pay him step aside money if Triple G can go after Billy Joe Saunders. If not, you can see a Canelo rematch, or you can see Triple G moving up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that WBC belt. The thing about it is, Jermall Charlo and Danny Jacobs can end up fighting for the belt, because they're the 2 highest rated contenders, because even though the WBC is still ranking Canelo Alvarez, he's not going to take that belt. I keep telling you guys that. So he's not going to take that belt. So it can go up. If Triple G's, don't get the Billy Joe Saunders fight, and chooses to move up and face Canelo again, he could be stripped, and it'll go up to the highest 2, contenders. And if HBO, wants to let Danny Jacobs face Jermall Charlo for a vacant WBC belt, then it can happen. But, somewhere down the line, people going to start clamoring for Jermall Charlo and Canelo Alvarez. That's if, Charlo continues to win, beat Hugo Centennial Jr., he's able to get the WBC title and try to unify and get up another title. It's a certain criteria he's going to have to do to actually put pressure on Canelo for taking that fight, because Canelo wasn't going on his way to take the fight at 54. His main fights was Mayweather, Lara, and Trout. He felt that was, it was solid enough to move out the division and go to 160 and be considered a legend there. Obviously, he didn't face Bubu Andrade, the Charlo twins. He didn't face, those are the main 3 right there. He didn't face, but, now Jermall has another opportunity to put himself in position to face, Canelo Alvarez. And that would be, I think, before I get into sizing it up, I think it would have to be for him. He has to get 2 belts. He's going to have to find somebody to unify with. Obviously, Billy Joe Saunders is going to retire soon. He's talking about retiring, potentially moving up to 68 and trying to get another world championship in 2 weight classes, but it seems like he wants to retire. Obviously, Triple G is, he may move up as well and drop his belt, so it will be opportunity. It'll be the race for him to get 2 belts, you know what I'm saying? Realistically, it may be, the WBC if you can get that, on the WBO, but, it's a matchup that people have been talking about for a little while now. Obviously, by the time the Charlos made enough noise at 54, Canelo was already in another stratosphere popularity-wise, and he was closer to the climax of his career than the Charlos was. Their career was just starting, so It wasn't no major pressure for Canelo to face, the Charlos or just Jermall Charlo. It wasn't. But now Jermall Charlo is in a position to kind of force that. And if he gets this opportunity, most people feel it would be a bad matchup for Canelo Alvarez. Obviously, a lot of people want to, kind of say the Charlos haven't earned nothing, haven't did anything. And that's people's favorite thing to spin around. When somebody's a true threat, in a boxing game to a popular fighter or somebody else's favorite fighter or something like that, they want to spin it, well, he ain't did this, he ain't did that. Like, they're setting a criteria bar. Well, Charlo didn't deserve to be number one at WBC. At the end of the day, he is. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Canelo didn't deserve to be automatically ranked number one contender to WBO when he petitioned for it, and they said he can have it or not. That's fishy to me. They say he can be the number one contender and face the winner of Billy Joe Saunders, David Lemieux. Obviously, we know Billy Joe Saunders won that fight, and immediately Golden Boy said they wasn't interested in the fight and proceeded to make Gennady Golovkin Canelo Alvarez too. And people will be like, well, Canelo's facing the killer in Triple G. Why would he be scared of Jermall Charlo and not want the fight? Obviously, for Charlo, styles make fights. And people trying to make that triangle, theory between three fighters and they all fighting each other. Anything can happen. But obviously people know Canelo is, physically inferior to Charlo. When you're talking about height, length, athletic ability, I mean, Canelo has issue with athletic guys who can move on their feet, create angles, box, and got length. Trust me. They're going to try to avoid, Charlo, but if it was to happen, I think Canelo will have a tough time with Charlo. His length, his speed, and longer he waits, the more experience he gains, and he'll be able to get another title. And he has the mentality to go in there and, beat the crap out of Canelo Alvarez. But Canelo as well is a skilled fighter. It would be a fool to count him out in any fight in the middleweight division. It'll be interesting to see, how he would attack Jermall Charlo. It would be, would he come forward? Would he try to box? How would he, get inside the length? How would he deal with the speed and the power of the movement? Obviously, he showed the adjustment to deal with the movement with Lara by throwing the hook wherever Lara was trying to slide out the back door, and he made Lara a stationary target. But the difference is, and I always thought the difference was, that Charlo was more offensive. His defense is starting to come around. We've seen where he caught the shot and return fire on Julian J. Rock Williams. He's starting to become a better fighter, and I think the longer Canelo waits this out, the better he's going to be. And, maybe, Oscar finds a way to spin it where Canelo doesn't need him and not going to ever fight him. Obviously, I think it's a bad matchup style for Canelo. Obviously, people believe Canelo could take the trash out with Jermall Charlo. It'll be an interesting fight. But, PR-wise and marketing-wise, Charlo has to get 2 belts for this fight even to be viable. The WBC and then probably the WBO belt will be the choices of belt for him because those are the 2 belts that Triple G can drop and Billy Joe Saunders can drop, obviously. But it'll be a difficult fight for Canelo length-wise. And, it's a couple other difficult fights for him, Boo Boo Andrade, Danny Jacobs, just style-wise for him, trying to deal with that movement and that boxing ability. But, for me, it'll be difficult, man. It'll be difficult for him to deal with those guys' athletic abilities. But let me know what y'all think about this potential matchup that could happen in the near future.